Rose was 89. David was 11 years older. Together, they had chosen a life without children, a mutual decision made in youth so they could devote themselves to careers, travel, and one another. Rose, a nurse. David, a well-known cardiologist. They'd met in the cardiology unit of a hospital in Orlando, fell in love between shifts, and married 2 years later. They built a life full of sunsets, flights, and libraries, a life that, to them, felt complete. As age settled in, it did so slowly and then suddenly. David carried the weight of the very illness he had spent his life studying, heart disease, complicated by diabetes. Rose's body betrayed her in other ways. Osteoarthritis made every step a measured effort. Still, their independence was a creed. Rose drove, they went to appointments on their own, and the couple prized the small freedoms that tethered them to who they were. One January afternoon, after a series of routine tests, they drove home. Only 10 kilometers into the trip, David urgently needed a restroom. They pulled into a quiet gas station. The walk to the bathroom was hard. Rose pulled her walker. David leaned on her arm. By the time they came back toward the car, both were exhausted, shaking, short of breath, and visibly weak. They trembled with the effort of a few steps. The world around them moved quickly. Traffic was sparse. It should have been a small, ordinary stop. Instead, it became a moment on the edge of danger. The couple had always refused help. "We're fine," they would say. "We can manage." Molly, a niece, had begged them not to drive and to accept rides. They brushed her concerns aside. Pride can be a protective cloak, but it can also blind us to risk. Rose and David were not thinking of rules or headlines in that gas station parking lot. They were simply exhausted and alone. Inside the gas station, a young officer, Keisha Carnegie, noticed them through the glass. She felt the urge to step out and help, but she wasn't the only one who noticed. 3 young men, buying snacks, saw the couple too. Without fanfare, they closed the distance. One steadied David's arm, another supported Rose and guided her to a bench. Light the lantern. Join the journey. Subscribe. A third rushed into the store for drinks and snacks to restore their strength. The 3 men were local artists, young, recognizable faces, and their hands were steady, their concern immediate. "Hold on to my arm, sir," the youngest said. "Are you in pain? Do you need us to call someone?" They didn't ask for thanks. They simply helped. At first, Rose and David were embarrassed. "We don't mean to be a bother," David murmured. "We're too proud to ask." The men gently pushed back. "You wouldn't be a bother to my grandmother," one replied. "If it were her out here, I'd want someone to help." The youngest of the 3 returned with bottled water and butter cookies, a small thing, but exactly the type of quick comfort their shaking bodies needed. David, hungry and low on sugar after tests, smiled at the cookie as if it were a small miracle. Help, it turned out, could taste like a simple snack and feel like an offered hand. Keisha filmed the interaction on her phone, not to shame anyone, but because the scene felt meaningful, a raw example of compassion in public. She later uploaded the clip with a few words explaining what had happened. People watched. They shared. They wrote that the moment restored their faith. The video gathered millions of views because the moment was small and true. Strangers noticing, stepping in, giving aid without waiting to be thanked. Light the lantern. Join the journey. Subscribe.